Uphill Recording Podcast, episode 182. Tonight, our special guest, Taylor Katherine.
Well, I'm the queen of the trailer park. I like to party after dark, and there's cold blue ribbon in my fridge. I got a baby on my hip. I smoke Lucky Strike cigarettes. I got a tattoo that says no regrets. You must think I ain't too smart, 'cause I'm the queen of the trailer park. I'm the queen of the trailer park. I take no shit, I'm gonna bite no bark. And if my man tries to act brand new, I'll throw him in a batch of my roadkill stew. I cuss like a sailor any given day, till the first of the month when I get paid. I hate the law and I don't like narcs, 'cause I'm the queen of the trailer park. One day I'll play my songs in Nashville, Tennessee, but I won't be too good for the trailer park. It's always been so good to me. Well, I'm the queen of the trailer park. I sit on my porch and I play guitar. You might say I'm poor white trash. I'm gonna tell you, you can kiss my ass. I mow my lawn in my bathing suit while I'm wearing my combat boots. My throne is the seat of a broke down car, 'cause I'm the queen of the trailer park. The trailer park, queen of the trailer park.
Oh, yeah.
That was awesome.
Taylor Katherine, that was amazing.
Thank you.
Oh, my gosh. You have a way to make people happy, I think.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, so I listened to Sober Up, I told you earlier, like 10 times today. I love it.
Thank you.
And then you come in and you do a sound check and it wasn't that song. And then you do that song. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're all awesome.
Thank you.
I love your songwriting, which we'll get into in a minute. But we always like to start out this podcast. Well, before we start out this podcast, I guess I got to bring to everybody's attention the guy to my left and people's right, everybody's favorite luthier, Spencer Corbin, joining me tonight as my guest.
Yeah, what's going on, y'all?
Hey, man, thanks for sitting in.
Thank you.
Brent's got a job to do, busy man these days, so he's on the switcher. We're just hoping he sticks with us and doesn't pass out or fall asleep over there from exhaustion.
Hey, I've got coffee.
All right, good coffee, and he's going to play the voice of God later and do Weston's questions for us, so should be good to go. All right, so now we got to start from the beginning. So if you can, tell us about yourself and just take us back as far as you can remember, early childhood, whatever, and whenever it was that you knew that you loved music, that you first came into music, and when you knew it was going to be something you just had to do.
So growing up, my mom was like the karaoke queen of Frankfort. And I mean, I always thought of her as like, she's some famous celebrity or whatever, and go with her to her karaoke contest. And There was one that she did, like a really big one. It has this place called Country Place Jamboree, which is where we went like every Friday. And it was one of those like bars outside of the city limits so the kids could come in. Like, I was 6 years old the very first time I got on a stage at that place.
6 years old.
And I sang You're Still the One by Shania Twain.
Ah, okay.
And everybody was just like enamored with me. And I don't really know if I was like really good then or if I was just real cute. But like whatever that was, I was like, I want to chase that forever.
Ah.
And I remember like just taking pride in music in elementary school. I mean, it's always been like my favorite thing to do. So yeah, that feeling that I got from that stage is why I started to take it seriously. And then in high school, I got into the Governor's School for the Arts for vocal music.
Awesome.
And I went to Georgetown College to study opera.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, in elementary education because I wanted to be a music teacher.
Okay.
However, life has a funny way of doing things, and I had my first daughter 4 days before my 18th birthday.
Okay.
So I did still I went to college for a few years, and I did graduate, but I did not have a liberal arts degree. So after that,
Hey, you know what? You had a kid and still graduated college. Who cares what type of degree you got? Kudos for doing that. My wife had a kid, and I didn't graduate college.
It's hard. It's super hard. But because of that, I had in that time, between having her and like coming back to the music, I had 2 more children. So I currently have a 14-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 5-year-old.
Okay, you got the spectrum there. Huh?
Yeah. Because I was always like, this is the last one.
Yeah. You can't even put those guys in any of the same ball leagues or teams
Thank
anyway.
God, though.
Yeah,
It's just cheaper this way a little bit. So yeah.
6 years old, getting on stage. That's and your mom's the karaoke queen. That is, it does do something to you to have people tell you you're good at a young age. I do believe.
It does.
But then for me to hear the rest of that bit of it that you went to School of Arts, opera sing, that it wasn't, you probably really were good as a 6-year-old. You probably just had it, Probably listening to mom sing all the time.
And I love that feeling I have now with my kids because they hear me do stuff like this and see me like do radio shows, and they're like, especially my teenager, she's like, "Mom, are you famous?" Like, it is just awesome. Like
just say
kids,
yes.
Yeah,
just,
I'm
yes,
like, I'm locally known.
That's awesome.
It's like a good bourbon that only the people that should know about it about it.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Heck yeah. That's what it is. You're like a single barrel right now, man, because you're pouring some good ones. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So when did let's start with the instrument. When did you start playing an instrument?
During COVID.
During COVID?
Yeah.
So are you kidding?
No.
Wow.
I wrote my first song with that instrument during COVID.
You started writing during
Yes.
COVID? Hold on a second. So generally, I was going to start with when did you start songwriting? Are you kidding me? You've only been writing for a few years?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
This is the first year that anything's really taken off for me. So
that just blows my mind. I mean, it really does. That's That's crazy because, it's one thing to write a catchy song, but to have the verbiage and the phrasing to where you're following it in your head, you're kind of seeing the pictures, you kind of feel it, and like I said, bring you joy at the same time. That is such a feat. Like how many songs have you written?
I think I have 10 that I like play out, but I have like 2 notebooks full of shit that I don't play out.
Yeah.
Because I like.
You only play the good stuff, the stuff
I think
you
they're
like.
all good, probably. Like, but like not to me.
Yeah.
So
somebody else's taste, not yours.
Yeah.
I understand that, but man, that is just that is wild. That is wild. I'm left me kind of speechless because that's so. When you kind of started, what made you decide to do it? You've got if it's during shutdown, you've got kids at home. You're
drinking a whole lot.
You're parenting. You're trying. There is no real escape. Is that like why you start? You like I need some time. How did you go about that process in that time as a mom? Obviously with a lot to say and a really, really great way of saying it. How did you hone that, figure it out? There's a lot of questions in that, but
I'll
like,
tell
when
you.
did you make time?
I did. Well, I mean, I didn't like choose to learn myself. Really, I kind of was pushed to do it by one of my best friends. And I met her years and years ago at a festival and kind of kept up with her on Facebook. And I didn't even live in Louisville at the time. So about 5 years ago, I moved up here. We're still friends on Facebook. Her job is hiring, and I'm like, oh God, I need to get out of the house. I just had a baby. Like, I'm losing my mind. So I started waiting tables at Dioreo's with her. She runs an open mic every Wednesday
Okay.
at Dioreo's, and still goes on to this day. Anyways, she heard me singing one day while we were working. She said, oh my God, bitch, you got to get up there and play at the mic. And I was like, well, I don't play an instrument. She said, tell me 2 songs you want to learn. I'll make Derek learn them. Derek's her boyfriend. So I was like, okay. And I made him learn Valerie by Amy Winehouse and Dancing in the Moonlight by King Harvest. And so I sang those for like 3 months. And like at the end of that 3 months is pretty much when like pandemic times happened, and I was not working. Like we lost our job. Basically, I wasn't making any money, and I was sitting at home all freaking day with these kids, losing my mind. And yeah, so she was like, "Go learn an ukulele. Like that, I promise you can do it." Because I'm like, I don't know how to play instruments. I was really bad at even piano, like when I was in college. So I did. And it sat and stared at me for like 2 months before I picked it up for real. Because I was just like so intimidated. And I learned a G and an A minor and a C chord and how to do it, because I felt like I was never ever. There's like impossible. There's no way that I'm going to be able to strum in a perfect like strumming pattern and like move my fingers and also sing. And like there was no way. But I sat down and did a 10-day ukulele tutorial on YouTube, and I did it in like 3 days. Because, again, I was just sitting around drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, all right, I'm highly motivated by alcohol right now. Let's do this. And I did. And then I wrote Take Me to the Creek. And I think I published that on my Facebook in May of that year. And I played my first, like, ever stage gig thing, like, that September, I believe, out at Marengo. And this place that we go to have like equinox and solstice festivals. So yeah, after that, those people heard me, and it just kind of like snowballed. The support just snowballed, because like one person would be like, "Oh my God, have you heard her? You need to listen to her," and like just spread like that. And this year, I have not had a weekend off since I put my single out, which was at the end of March. Like I've done a show or 2 or 3 or whatever.
That's awesome.
Every week since then. It's really nice. It's been nice to be able to share my music with everybody, because they seem to appreciate it.
Huh. Well, and if as they should. It's so well written. I can't imagine like what the process is going to look like for you as you continue to develop. Because I still imagine times of the essence for you, having time. You got kids, like I said.
And I'm getting old.
Well, you're only as old as you feel. Remember that. Yeah. But
12.
You got 3 kids in 14 to 5, right? So you're probably running, doing stuff at all points in time. Now you're gigging like crazy. You've already got 10. You're still rolling. How much of that have you recorded?
That sober up.
Just sober up? No kidding.
That's it. Recording is so expensive, and I have 3 kids.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm just kind of doing what I can do.
Well, tell me a little bit about Sober Up, because it's a killer song, but you also have a band on it. Tell me a little bit about who you got to play on that.
So that best friend that pushed me into doing this, her name's Katie, did it. She plays stand-up bass with Mama Said String Man, so she's on the stand-up.
Awesome.
And a former member that played mandolin on that song, Steph Kidd, she's on there too. And then I have a guitarist who regularly plays with me, but he's in Colorado right now for just an extended while. His name's Dakota Blankenbaker, and he's a badass. And he's flying back in next week, actually, to play with me at Holler Girl out at Rock Castle Riverside. So I'm very excited about that. Yeah. So stoked. But I don't have a band, so like if you're listening to this and you want to be in one, hit me up.
Yeah, so that recording, that is one of the things that is a super expensive. It can get as expensive as you can let it be. Yeah. Especially Was that kind of like a hire thing, or was it just friends going, look, we got to get you something, we'll pay for the studio?
I had a friend
Do your
literally reach
thing.
out to me and said, hey, like what? Actually, you guys have done a thing with him too, Nick Teal.
Oh, yeah.
He
yeah.
reached out to me and he said, what is it that's like keeping you from moving forward? Because he could see that I was like kind of stagnant.
Mhm.
I was like, honestly, I need to record, but I can't afford it. He was like, well, I'm doing really well right now. You don't ever have to pay me back for this. I want you to do it. And he gave me the money for it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So like he's an angel, because like without that, I don't think I'd be here. Like, I don't think I'd be anywhere really.
Yeah.
Because it's gotta be accessible for people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The one thing when Nick was here, the one thing you could definitely tell is he was a genuinely nice dude.
He
From
is
the
the
get-go.
kindest. Yes.
He is like this. He's a like tall, and he could be imposing if he wanted to be, but
I
he's
was
such
terrified
a
of him
gentle.
the first time I met him.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he's so nice. Yeah, he was amazing.
He's got a single release coming up this Wednesday
I
at
was
the
going to
Monarch.
say at the Monarch,
Mhm.
right? Yeah, and Katie's
Katie's
that.
and the Toonsmiths as well.
Yeah, so that is unfortunately this won't be out, and we're just missing it. But yeah, I thought I saw that today, but I hate messing stuff up, so I was like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't mention it. So I'm glad you did. Well, you want to play us another tune?
I sure will.
All right, what do you want to play for us?
I guess I'm gonna do a song called "I Hope to Hell."
I hope to hell. All right, Brent, do you want to listen for a sec? Make sure we're good. Was the first one?
Just watch the
Yeah.
levels on that.
Okay. Was the first one called Trailer Park Queen? Queen of the Trailer Park. Oh, no
Mhm.
shit.
I need to give you
You did she really?
Mine.
Hey, I drove by
Seriously.
your old house today. Not your old house, but by where you pull in, because I went and played golf out in Tanglewood, and I thought, hell yeah, never had to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
All right, do a little snippet for us. Are you gonna ask any questions, cocksucker?
Yes, I will. I can't say I was surprised.
Good. All right. Beautiful. Love your tone, man. Love it. Hell yeah, I love it. You know what? Sometimes that shit pans out perfectly.
When I found out you were doing me wrong, I can't say I was surprised. Stayed up all night waiting for you to come home, just to hear you tell me lies. You'd buy me flowers and apologize for days, and I'd forgive you every time. Now when I think about it, I'm not sure how I stayed, 'cause all you did was make me cry. So I put a nail in that coffin, covered it in dirt. Hope you think about me often, and I hope to hell that it hurts. You talked down to me every day for years, well, you were slapping me around. Told me that no one would ever love me like you do, and I could never make it on my own. You were so jealous, you were so insecure. You always had some accusations. I was so blind I couldn't see it at the time. You were fucking all my friends. So I put a nail in that coffin, covered it in dirt. Hope you think about me often, and I hope to hell that it hurts. Every now and then you cross my mind, and I'll go back to that dark place. And I remember you've been dead to me since the day I walked away. And I put a nail in that coffin, covered it in dirt. Hope you think about me often, and I hope to hell that it hurts. Oh, I put a nail in that coffin, covered it in dirt. Hope you think about me often, and I hope to hell that it hurts. Yeah, I hope to hell that it hurts. I sure hope to hell that it hurts.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So good.
Oh my God, that's a great one.
Yeah, it is.
That's a like I think what shocks me most about your playing and singing, it really shocks me most about your playing and singing is how most people that have been playing a short amount of time are 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1. You know, it's real rudimentary and simple. And your strum pattern is not that. And then your melody lines are crazy.
Yeah.
Like, accusations, that line in that song, what you do with just that word to make it fit perfectly into the melody line. And I'm like shocked by it. Seriously. Yeah, I really am. It's not normal.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm starting to believe that
Yeah.
the longer I'm doing this, that like I was meant to do this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And the more, think about like you're scratching the surface of what your development. You know, you're so new into picking up an instrument and having it in your hand, which makes you more open to writing different stuff. Now that it's awesome that they coincided because it didn't really limit you you kind of just had the freedom to do whatever you want to do, and you're learning them at the same time. And maybe that helps you kind of be able to sing and play. But there's not a lot of people that can do that especially start later. You have kids, but your kids that you have to tend to and have the ability to do that. Kudos to that, and just realize, I think that's pretty amazing that you have that ability so quickly.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah. It's truly like, about a year ago, I picked up, or at least I tried to pick up the mandolin, and, it has 4 more strings than the ukulele, and and the craziest part about it is the complexity of the chords and trying to think about which ones do sound good and match up together, especially in a song. And not only are the chords hard enough to learn by themselves, but then putting them in that orientation really is, it's crazy.
And then think about like writing lyrics over top of trying to learn that instrument.
Yeah.
And then trying to navigate that along with writing a tune. You know, when you do write, did you hear guitar when you were writing these songs, and now you hear ukulele like from originally, or was it always just whatever?
I never really like heard instruments.
Okay.
Like when I guess I get like, I just hear like the words and the melody that I want in my head, and then because I'm not like great at music theory, surprisingly. But I'll get on there and I'll be like humming the thing that I heard in my head. I'm like, okay, what note is that? What note is that? I'm just gonna fiddle around till I find it, and then that's how I will write a song that I hear. And sometimes I sit down with the intention of writing a song without having like an idea, and sometimes that ends up being really good too. So, but yeah, generally no, I don't hear an instrument because I've never played one, and even now writing a song I don't like hear anything specific, but I do like I'm going for like a bluegrassy country folk sound, I guess, with what I'm doing.
It's definitely cool, especially like solo uke.
Yeah,
it's definitely interesting, and the fact that
I appreciate that.
Yeah, and I mean, I wrote a couple of things down there, like your melody lines, and then but your choices, which makes sense now because you don't limit your number one instrument is your vocals. It has been your entire life, so you know what to do with that to create what you're going for. But it makes sense now that if you're piddling, you don't limit yourself vocally, and you don't allow an instrument to limit what your melody lines are. So you find it, and it makes sense because some of the choices, like with your chord progressions and going to I don't know if it was a sixth or a fourth or whatever. No, it wasn't a fourth. It might, whatever that was in that song. It's just such a cool. It's such a cool. That's the chord. Like personally, I would have picked. Where I think some people go for the more. It's supposed to be a D. It's supposed to go in this round progression, and you can go there, but.
The brain doesn't work that way.
Yeah. It's a killer. Your choices are killer, which also leads me to influences.
There you go.
Go ahead. You got a question?
Yeah. Well, and I mean, this ties right into the influences question. The difference between, just a beginning player, a musician, and an artist. You really have to think about that. And who influences you really decides on how you see what you're hearing in your head. And so what is amazing is just by writing, a few songs and having them in your notebook, like you can really hear exactly what you want in that song, and then also not limiting yourself in terms of instruments or what it could possibly be. And to me, that really seems like that's a true artist. It's not just a musician. It's not just a beginner writing a few songs. That's being a true artist. And so, going into the influences question, who were your three biggest influences or your artists in terms of music and songwriting?
Patsy Cline, for sure, is somebody that I listened to a whole lot with my grandmother when I was younger. She loved her. She was heartbroken a lot. So yeah, we had good cries to Patsy. And then of course Shania Twain, man, she was my jam.
Shania?
Everybody was all up in arms about this pop country collaboration. Oh my God, what are we gonna do? The lines are blurred. And I'm like, I love this because at that age I did not love bluegrass or country music, and I did love pop music, and I did love these strong female stars, and she was one of them, and oh my God, I loved her. I loved her so much.
Any Man of Mine from Any Man of Mine on, huh?
Yeah.
So Shania Twain just did a concert with where she had Winona Judd. And who else was out with her? It was Kentucky girl.
Sonora May, maybe?
No, older. Tanya Tucker.
Oh, Tanya Tucker. Oh, yeah.
I love Shania too, but she was hammered. Dude, she was hammered. I don't know if she was drunk or if she had taken some pills or what, but she was having herself a grand old time.
Good.
And man, she looks great. She's still doing the damn thing.
Yeah, she's amazing.
She was, those shows. I don't know if you've had them yet. I definitely have had a couple in my, career of shows to where you look back on it the next day and you go, I shouldn't have had that extra one. That one. I mean, I would have been fine if it wasn't for this friend of mine that came up and brought me this, and I had to have it.
Yeah.
And then they ruined me. because
man.
that was the one. It wasn't the 10 before that.
It was that
It
one.
was that one
Mm-hmm.
that got me.
I did mushrooms at a gig one time.
Ooh, that'll make it feel
I've done
fun.
it twice actually. The first time went really well, so that's why, of course,
Leads
like
to the second
the
time.
second time I was like, "Fuck yeah, this is gonna be awesome." It was at this derby party. We did a benefit for Eastern Kentucky for the flood relief.
And then horses
this
started
past-
dying, and everything
Man,
went down.
and everything went downhill. And I took these mushrooms. I took them like wrong. I was supposed to take them in different order, some weird shit. And I'm up on stage, and I'm like, like 5 songs into my set, and I look at my guitarist, and I was like, all right, everybody, Dakota's going to take over. I've got to go swimming now. And like, that was it. Because we're playing in front of a pool. It's just like, I'm too high to do this. I love you guys.
Hello. I mean, good night. I mean, I got to go swimming, man.
Yeah.
I've got to do what I've been doing in my head the entire time up here. I've been
Yeah.
swimming.
That's like Santana at Woodstock when
Oh yeah.
acid and he thought the neck of his guitar was a snake.
Oh, my
Yeah.
God.
God,
I
he
could
was
never
fighting
play on
that the
acid.
whole
Absolutely
time.
not.
Oh yeah.
Dude, yeah. I'll make it very quick. It was like his first big show to make it big, and he was supposed to play at like 2 a.m, and he took acid with the Grateful Dead, thinking it would wear off. Well, they switched it. He had to play at 2 p.m, and he was so stoned, he thought his guitar neck was a snake, and somehow he didn't miss a note. But after that, he never did drugs again because he was like, I could have ruined my career.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Well,
He's a.
it definitely could have done some damage. My God. Could you imagine playing
No,
with a snake as a guitar neck?
I don't want to. That sounds terrible.
Well, did you go swimming?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Good
All
time?
the rest of the night.
Nobody got mad, did they?
Oh, hell no.
They thought it was a good
Mm-mm.
time.
Yeah.
Did your
They
guitar
were like,
player?
oh, Taylor's just fucked up. It's okay.
Did your guitar player take over?
Oh, yeah. And
Huh?
he was also high on mushrooms. So, like,
He's
he
been
just
outed.
manages himself better than me, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
he-
just like, I want to get in the pool, and
Right.
the mushrooms say I have to right now. I can't argue with that logic.
maybe he doesn't like swimming. You know, he's like, I don't.
Well, when we go swimming over there, we swim pretty much till sun comes up.
Mm.
It's very
That sounds
fun.
like a good derby party right there.
Oh, it sure was, and we raised a crap ton of money for Eastern Kentucky. So
That's awesome.
I think we just like do pull tabs and call it a night. I'm not sure what we did over there. It's pretty boring comparatively. All right, so Patsy Cline.
mhm.
We need another one.
Shania, and then
Nah.
I know I listened to a lot of like Tammy Wynette
Okay.
with my grandfather, and he was a constable when I was growing up, and he happened to work security at the place that my mom did karaoke.
Ah,
So like when I
That's why
got a
you
little
got
bit
in.
older, I started singing like "Stand by Your Man" and
nah.
"Crazy" and
Hell yeah.
yeah. And I think him and my grandmother got me a karaoke machine for like my 10th birthday or 11th birthday, and we'd go to Walmart every Friday and pick out like a new karaoke CD.
Nah,
And he got me a Conway Twitty one.
Oh.
Fuck that guy, but I mean, like, also he's a great
Yeah,
musician.
great,
Yeah.
great singer.
And Tammy Wynette, Loretta Lynn, George Jones, like everything.
The greats.
All the greats. I did get a very healthy dose of that in my childhood, and I didn't get so much of the rootsy bluegrass that I love to listen to now.
That's actually what I was going to ask. What do you like now?
I'm into the mainstream bluegrass scene.
Billy Strings.
Yeah, I fucking love Billy Strings.
Everybody
yeah.
loves Billy Strings. We're huge fans.
Really, I'm
Molly
into like
Tuttle.
jam bands and stuff too. Like I love My
Blitzer.
Morning Jacket.
Yeah.
I just went and
Okay.
saw Dead and Company at Deer Creek in
That is
June.
awesome.
Dude,
Oh my god, I cried for like 90 minutes.
So
I was like, oh my god, John Mayer. Oh my god, Bob Weir.
well, you know what? They've also said that they were talking about, why is this the end? Everybody's like, I don't know.
It's not
It's
the end.
not
It's just going to
really.
be another iteration.
Yeah, well,
Mhm.
I have seen snippets of the last show with the drones. Oh my god,
That was insane.
Insane.
that's
That was crazy.
Yeah, I watched
Tip
it on
of-
Nugs on a
tip
little
the
bit of acid.
hat.
It was great.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely
Absolutely.
unbelievable.
So good. I love it. I love the community that band particularly has fostered, because that community is like where I found my home and where I felt safe and comfortable to start
Mhm.
sharing my music and myself like that.
Mm.
So praise the Lord for the Grateful Dead.
Yeah, they're not going anywhere, man. I think they'll just be. Was it you were talking about it earlier? You mentioned who are we talking about? Drive-by truckers or trampled by truckers, somebody like that.
So
Yeah.
good.
That's the band in name is the band in name, and there are members that come through and go and enter in.
Jason
Who was it?
Isbell was part of Drive-By Truckers.
Yeah, Drive-By.
Yeah.
Leftover salmon.
Leftover
Yes.
salmon.
Loving in my baby's arms.
Yes, I love them. And
Yeah.
it was so cool because for my brother's birthday, me and him, we went down to Key West, Florida, and we went and saw Leftover Salmon open up for Little Feet. And
That's
it was
awesome.
But
In
watching
Key
them,
West.
In Key
Yeah,
West. They
it-
played here at Iroquois, both of them too. Yeah.
yep, same tour.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was a great experience, but watching them and doing their thing, like the only band that can do what they do is Leftover Salmon.
Yeah.
Like they are the name.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, but it's just cool to think you can do that.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
Yeah.
You can be a band that, for the most part, you have your members. But like Jerry's been gone, they've continued the thing.
It's the fans that keep them going too.
Yeah.
It is
And-
100%.
And like I think it's probably Bob is a little tired, so
Yeah.
maybe he steps back a little bit. They have somebody. He comes when he feels like it. Plays the Red Rock shows. Plays the amazing, unbelievable shows that he wants to. But not that they're not all unbelievable.
Man,
Because
when him and Trey Anastasio get together, that's some magic.
Yeah.
Good
Oh, yeah.
Lord. And I don't even like fish like that.
I was listening to.
I'm the same way.
Yeah, I was listening to Trey's story about him and his band members. Did you send me that? Where they were all like, "Yeah, we were playing the last show because he was so just drugged out constantly, and we gave him the choice. Hey, man, we can keep doing this. You can just be a drug addict." He's like, "Yeah, I'll be a drug addict. Screw you guys." So they were playing this last show, and it was just done. And he ended up like the band was broke up for a few years, and then he got sober and. Look at him now.
And that's like Jason Isbell was Drive-By Truckers. He was all fucked up all the time.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
A lot left, got kicked out of the band.
yeah.
He's got the 400 unit. He's a badass.
Yeah, he is.
What was it? The first they said the first day he showed up, he wrote what Southampton or something like that. What song was it? Something crazy.
Independence Day.
Yeah, where they're like, "Are you
That's
serious?
so
This
good.
kid,
Yeah.
Yeah.
this kid,
Yeah.
muscle shows, man. They breed it.
Yes.
He just bled into his system living
It's
down
insane. The
Mhm.
talent just on this earth. I mean, just shit.
there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the talent in
So
this
good.
area.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
100%.
in Louisville, like since I did not know, I just didn't know, like I didn't know how wide my eyes could be open just from moving 45 minutes away from
crazy.
where I grew up.
Mhm.
I'm telling you, we've said it for a while, but this city is breeding
It's
something.
magic.
Man. It's just musically breeding something.
Yes.
There's so many talented artists right now that are writing crazy good songs that
It's the
don't.
community that we have
Yeah.
behind
Yep.
us that 1,000% is because
Yeah.
the people that aren't playing music, aren't writing music, are supporting it.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the
And they're very good at it.
like the Monarch, the beauty of the Monarch,
Monarch,
and
yes.
Monarch is everybody's baby. I mean,
Mhm.
everybody in the music community wants that thing to thrive.
Yes, we do.
Katie
Katie also does a spotlight
Katie
series
does,
there
yeah.
on Tuesdays.
Man.
At the end of, or the last Tuesday of the month.
I got an invite there yesterday that I didn't see until today. That broke my heart. It was this. They had a couple people playing, but then it was also a songwriter just like gathering where you trade songs.
A song swap.
All throughout the.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah,
Those are actually really
sounded
fun.
a lot better yesterday if I'd have read the message, man. I was like, oh.
I did my
Lord.
very first song swap with Danny Flanagan at the Raven.
All right.
I guess Memorial Day weekend or something like that. But yeah, it was really fun. It was a really fun format to like go back and forth and talk about our songwriting processes
Yeah.
and stuff.
Well, he does that every Monday.
Every Monday at the Raven. Mhm.
That's
Actually,
why we
I have
can
two
never get
friends
him in
there.
here, man.
I have two friends there right now doing it.
Who's that there tonight?
Jay Tharp is doing poetry. He's an incredible poet that I met through the open mic circuit. And then our friend Vincent Gleason,
Okay.
he is probably one of the best guitar players in Louisville.
I
And if
think
he hears me
Vincent
say that, he's gonna be like,
Gleason's been in here, right?
don't blow smoke up my ass." Yeah, Vincent's been here.
Vince's been here.
Yeah.
Dude, I am the worst in the world with
Well, what'd you
names
say? This
and-
is 182. I
Yes.
couldn't keep up with like 5. So.
Yeah, well, that's me. I'm Mr. But see, like, here's a little secret about myself. Secret time. All right. So, and Brad always thinks I'm an idiot because I'll tell him about it. I'll be like, we'll go to a show. I mean, we'll go to a show of somebody that's been in this room, and I will not say a word to them because I'm afraid that they don't know who I am. So I just will like, and 90% of the time I'll never remember their name. Yeah, I know exactly who they are. If I'm going to the show, of course, I'm just like, hey, that's so-and-so. And but I'm always scared, number one, that I'm going to say the wrong name or just mess up. I'm Mr. What's up, man? I'm Mr. That guy. But yeah, dude, I am so afraid to go up to somebody and be like, hey, and they'll be like, who are you?
I get a lot of folks that just call me Katherine or whatever.
TK. Hey, TK.
That was the second thing I was going to say. They do that too.
I think I'm going to start calling you TK. I like that.
It's a good nickname.
Yeah.
I've never been to your pub either.
Oh man, I've never been there either.
I mean,
let me know how it's doing.
Who knows? I think they still have live music, so must be doing okay.
Yeah.
What you say over there, God? Do you have some questions for us?
It's time for Weston's questions.
Time for Weston's questions. Katherine, this is our co-host who is not here. My co-host, I guess, who's not here, has a set of questions.
Okay.
And she gets all four.
Okay.
The add-on, the number 4 muy importante. All right, Brent.
Okay, first question. Tell us something about you that is non-musical.
Okay. I mean, dang. Hold on. I thought about this question really long and hard and like couldn't really figure anything out. Let me see.
No.
I still collect Barbie dolls.
That don't count because Barbie just
love
came
Barbie. But I didn't even think about that. But yes, you're right.
No,
we'll move on
okay.
from that.
It does count.
No, it's okay.
You've always collected Barbies?
Always,
and
like my entire life. I have like a bunch of them.
So you probably has a lot of value in that.
Yeah, and they're some of them are like not out of the box. Like
Ooh.
I had a and I had a daughter, and I was so fucking excited to like pass them down to her.
No.
Mm-hmm.
No.
She'll run them.
Well, she doesn't want them.
She
wanted no part of Barbie.
What?
No Barbie, no baby dolls. Like no, straight into the mud and playing baseball.
You love Barbie more than you love me.
Yeah.
You can keep your Barbies forever. Yeah, no. That was my daughter. I don't think she did much of that. She was a softball player and a knucklehead. Now she climbs like crazy. She's a climber.
Oh, my daughter is she's a wild child. I love her very much, and I'm super proud of who she is because she's very strong-willed. And the Barbies was the first point where I saw that. She's absolutely not going to be. She's my 14-year-old.
Yeah, my daughter's the old one, strong-willed girl. They sound a lot alike, and I tell you what, y'all, you might have a couple rough years from 16 to 18, but after that, it's going to be amazing.
We've had a rough year this year.
I'm telling
13's been a little rough.
Hey,
but
there's spots.
Mm-hmm.
They get it. They start
don't
getting
give you
opinionated.
a manual for this shit.
No, they start getting real opinionated at certain ages. Some of them.
Yeah, she says things to me, and I want to like be pissed at her for the way she's talking to me. But then I'm like, my daughter's close to being an adult. Like. She's allowed to form her own opinions and she's allowed to express them to me. And I need, what I need to do as a parent is like formulate a way for it to be respectful,
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. Like when I'm learning, I think with my kids, what I'd like to affect more than anything is their thought process about stuff.
Exactly.
Like just don't react emotionally all the time. Take a step back and think about it. It should be a lot easier.
I'll tell you that's one of my flaws as a human for sure.
Reaction.
I'm very reactive.
It happens. I do it.
Mm-hmm.
You should have seen me
I'm trying to not be so emotionally charged all the time.
It's hard.
It is, and I was raised in a household where we yelled and like, my best friend died in January, killed himself, and like that's just kind of been really difficult on top of just like normal childhood trauma. So I started therapy last week, and I feel a lot better.
That's fantastic.
I feel better about knowing that I'm trying to help myself.
The only thing I'd say about therapy, if it starts affecting your songwriting, you got to quit. No, I'm
exactly.
No, I'm just
After my first
help.
session, I wrote the last song I just wrote, I just wrote it like a week ago, and it's actually like about how reactive I am and stuff. But yeah, the therapy actually opened my brain because I had not written a song since before Alex died. So,
but for Alex, by the way, do you need another little bit of sip? All right, here you go. Come on up here. I'll give you a little bit more, and we can give a little cheers to Alex.
Every time I have a drink, I pour one out for my dead homie.
That's what I'm talking about.
Thank you.
Pour it in your mouth this time. Don't pour it on the carpet. Brad will get mad. So I just I think therapy is the best way. It allows you to process it, gets you processing stuff, and once you get your brain thinking in that direction, then you can actually put that pen to paper.
Exactly.
I imagine that was it's been a lot better week than the previous, huh?
I've had a rough week. I'm going through a breakup, but
Sorry to hear that.
that's okay. I'm not
Hey,
really sorry about
cheers
it
to
at
new
all.
relationships.
That's right.
Tell
But
you what.
going to therapy and just one session, 2 sessions, getting some shit out made my mind clear enough to where I could sit down and not have to be like constantly going through my mind about the bad things that are happening or whatever. And I was able to write an honest song about the way I'm feeling. So I hope
That's
that
like
going to therapy is like going to be the thing that helps me with my creative block and just getting. If you're able to be honest with a therapist, like I can be honest with my audience.
yeah.
And I want that.
Well,
That's what writing music is about for me.
And sometimes saying out loud what you are internally thinking allows you to go, all right, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
And it humanizes you too.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, man, sometimes as people, our thoughts aren't always right. They're not always the best. They're not always smart. They're not always healthy. And to really kind of get through that and process that, I think you're nailing it. To go to therapy and get that stuff, I think it's going to not only help you, but the songs are going to be crazy. They're already crazy.
Yeah.
Can't imagine even more craziness with your songs. That's question number 1. We got 3 more. Lord,
I love that.
Digging deep.
Right.
I got a lot to say.
No, it's great.
This is probably the best platform I've had so far. So I appreciate you guys having me.
No, thank you. This is a
Absolutely.
honor.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome with therapy stuff. And then music, we've talked about a lot on here, is an awesome,
Yes.
healthy outlet. I mean,
Yeah.
Music is the most healthiest outlet I've ever.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay, the next question, you may have hit on one of these, but tell us about a nightmare gig or something crazy that's happened on stage. Besides eating mushrooms
Oh,
and
there-
jumping in the pool.
Yeah, well,
What's that?
that's probably. It wasn't really a nightmare though. Like I
It
wasn't.
doesn't sound like
I wasn't
it wasn't a bad
embarrassed by
time.
it or anything. That
Went
was
from
actually
playing guitar to swimming. I mean,
was
how
actually
bad can
kinda
that be?
fun.
It sounds okay. Hey,
Well, what?
I'm sure there's always this like the easy go to for any musician is like, I remember this time our sound was god awful on the stage. I
Yeah.
couldn't hear anything.
Oh, literally,
You know?
like I've
Every
not, but
gig.
that, yeah, not every gig though. I have played in some really cool venues that have great sound and not grumpy sound engineers. But no, like really, the worst thing that happened was pretty recent, like to date for me. I played a show at Kaiju last Sunday. Everybody that was there was like, "It was so good," and I'm still over here like kicking myself about it. I went to Stanton to play a radio show to promote Holler Girl that Tuesday, and apparently left my tuner like turned on, so my batteries were dead. So if my batteries are dead, I can't plug in. And so like when I realized that, I would start freaking out like internally, and like everybody can see that I'm freaking out a little bit, and I always keep the extra little watch batteries on me to put in there. I don't know where the fuck they went, but they were not in there. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not micing this thing. But I had to mic it. And it was like a 30-minute set because we did like a songwriter's night. But all 5 of the first songs that I played, they were great. You know, they were fine. And then I was like, I'm gonna play my new song, and it's gonna be wonderful, and everyone's gonna love it. And I fucked it up like just completely, which I don't think anyone knew because it's a brand new song nobody's heard.
That's the good
But I
news.
fucking know it.
Yeah, you know.
And I said that was the worst. I mean, I cried. I never cry about fucking up at a gig anymore. Like maybe the first 2 that I
It's
did.
the debut. You're trying to.
Yeah, and I was like, man, I've never played at Kaiju before, and I was real excited about that. Nobody's ever heard this song. Damn, dude. And then I was kicking myself about the battery. So I've got like a bunch of batteries in there now. It's never gonna happen again. I let myself get too anxious, and it
Extra
like flubbed me
watches
up.
in there in case
Yeah,
those
just like it
batteries
just in
don't work.
case.
Pocket watches, friggin' Swiss watches.
Swiss watch.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
All right, next question. Tell us about a local artist you've listened to recently or seen.
Who did I just go see last weekend? well, I go to like every Mama Said show I can get in.
Yeah,
get to.
they played Paristown last weekend.
Yeah,
didn't they?
so that's where we were. I took the kids and we danced and danced and danced for like 3 hours long. It was so much fun.
It was packed.
Oh my God. They said, because they brought their condenser mic and Caitlin was like, we didn't know it was going to be like this. Sorry, you guys. Like,
Yeah, it was packed.
oh my God. We had so much fun.
Yeah.
I love them. They are not only amazing artists, but they are great humans.
Yeah.
Just in all of them.
Yeah, they, you know, like
Former and present.
yeah, you talked about Katie, and you see her name everywhere right now. Katie did it.
She's absolutely amazing.
at the
She's
Monarch
wonderful.
once a month. She does open mic. She still does Dioreos.
She does the Oreos Wednesdays
On
and
Wednesdays.
then Flanagan's on Thursdays.
Yeah, so I mean, she's just, which is a huge bump for for not only the
is.
Louisville community scene, but for people like you that were starting out and needed a place that they wanted to do an open mic. It's such an important venue.
It is. And I would not, I tell her all the time and she says, don't say that. You're the one doing it. But like, I wouldn't have started doing any of this without her pushing me to like try.
Everybody needs that.
We
person.
all do. We
Yeah.
need that because she's my person.
Yeah.
And I love her for that. I love her for a lot of reasons, but like, that's always going to be something that I think about when I think of her.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. I imagine that.
And I think that's a lot of people feel
I was
that
getting
way.
ready to say exactly
Yeah.
that. I bet that there's a lot of people out there that could
We
say
all
the
share
same
that
thing.
sentiment. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, damn, we would not be here without Katie fucking did it.
Yeah, man, it's super important to have anybody that'll prop you up and let you know
Absolutely.
what you're doing is good and that your progression is on the right track and that they love the song or they love the like Spencer. Just thinking about Spencer, he's obviously a lot younger than I am,
Yeah.
but we've been playing together since he was like a sophomore in high school
Oh,
or
wow.
something
Yeah.
crazy.
I was 16 years old.
Yeah.
Do you all
So-
have a band? Are you all in a band together?
All of us kind of play
Yeah.
together. If
Oh,
we
that's
had a
cool.
band, it would be just, hey, you want
I
to
need
play?
a band.
Yeah. All right, hey man, you're welcome to come play with us anytime.
I
We'll
love
be
it.
your backing
Absolutely.
band. You probably fire us pretty quickly. Who cares? Well, we can keep a beat.
I did just have my very first like person leaving and not playing with me anymore happen. So like,
Which one was it?
it was a guitar player.
Your guitar person.
It's
All
okay.
right. Yeah, you know what the good news is?
There's a million of them.
Everybody plays guitar.
Oh, yeah.
Except for me.
Yeah, no, you got the uke. You're good right now. I tell you, you'll have. I don't think you'll have any issues finding people that want
No.
to play
I
with
sure
you.
hope not.
No, I'll play with you, man.
Yeah.
I'll play a little bit.
Ditto.
Do it.
You got another one?
Last question. Favorite bourbon.
Oh,
Woodford.
favorite bourbon.
Ooh.
Woodford.
Woodford neat.
Woodford.
I got kicked out of a bar in Nashville one time because
They didn't have Woodford.
no, it was a bourbon bar and
Oh.
they did have Woodford and I drank like a lot of it. And I was so drunk that I was accusing the bartender's boyfriend of being a narc. And she was like, "You gotta go."
You know why? You know why you had to go?
Because he was a fucking narc.
That's why.
Yeah,
He was a narc
100%,
and you knew
100%.
it.
You caught
He
it.
got called out. It's like Melissa McCarthy on that movie when she's on the airplane, like, you're
Oh my God, yes.
Hey,
Yes.
where are you? What was the airline guy?
Oh, what was that?
That's her husband, too. He's
yeah.
the best.
Oh, yeah.
They're the
Ben
best.
Falcone.
Oh, my God. They're the best.
I love that.
All right. Well, you ready to play us another one?
I sure am.
What are you going to play?
I think I'm going to play Take Me to the Creek for you guys.
Hey.
This is the
okay.
first song I've ever written.
The first one, huh?
Uh-huh.
All right. Take me to the creek.
Take me to the creek. Let's go swimming in the water. Been this hot all week. Yeah. And it just keeps getting hotter. Take me to the river. Ease my troubled mind. Don't you know you make me shiver? Even in the sunshine. to the ocean. Let's get sand between our toes. Kiss me in slow motion, while the salty warm breeze blows. Take me to the sea. Let's get a little wetter. Won't you float around with me? Because it just don't get no better. Spend some time with me. Take me to the creek. Take me to the creek. Let's go swimming in the water.
Yeah. Woo. All right, Miss Taylor Katherine. For everybody that wants to follow you, listen to your music, see where you're playing, where can they go and find you?
Facebook, Instagram. I have Sober Up is streaming on all the major platforms, so you can find me there. Taylor Katherine. This is my stage name and my real name. I'm working on putting a music page together right now. I don't know why I haven't done it yet, but like social media overwhelms me, and I'd preferred like not to be on it at all. But here I am. So yeah, Taylor Katherine Music on Instagram, just Taylor Katherine on Facebook. And if you send me a friend request, I'll add you, as long as we have like at least 10 mutuals. And then I'll have my music page up soon. I'm working with somebody that is more organized than me to help me out. I have organization problems. So
you know what? That is a very, very common trait of a very, very good writer and artist and musician.
I triple booked myself one time.
Triple book? Triple.
And I did all three of the things, but I triple booked myself.
Oh my God.
It was a very bad day.
That's a day right there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, we've definitely go check that page out.
For sure.
Follow you, find out where you're playing. It's been a joy. I think we all love
Yeah.
Awesome.
the direction.
Thank
the
you.
songwriting is killer, which means you got to take us out with a song.
yeah.
What are you going to play for us?
I think I'm going to play y'all Sober Up.
Hey,
I said I wasn't going to, but I'm going to.
You don't have to.
I
but-
want to.
All right.
It's different solo.
All right.
Well, I got a problem and I got it bad. I always want what I can't have, so help me, 'cause I'm addicted to you. And I go numb whenever you get close, just like cocaine going up my nose. Please tell me what I'm supposed to do. It ain't fair to crave you so badly when there's no rehab for being in love. Give me a reason to stay on the wagon, or else I won't ever sober up. Smell like cigarettes and you taste like green, but I love weed and nicotine. Everything about you gets me stoned. I'm compulsive and that's my curse, but I got vices that could be worse. I can quit anytime I want, one more and I'm done. It ain't fair to crave you so badly when there's no rehab for being in love. Give me a reason to stay on the wagon, or else I won't ever sober up. Well, I'm gonna quit you, mean it this time, but your kisses are sweeter than cherry wine. Just takes one bottle and I'm drunk all night. I swore I was never ever drinking again, but you're just like rum, bourbon and gin. One tiny sip packs an incredible bite. It ain't fair to crave you so badly when there's no rehab for being in love. Give me a reason to stay on the wagon, or else I won't ever sober up. Give me a reason to stay on the wagon, or else I won't ever sober up.
Oh my goodness. That's how you
Amazing.
do it.
So good.
Amazing.
Thank you, guys.